Where are things now in the cannabis industry relative to where they were, say, mm, 6 months ago?
In that regard, I feel like we are moving at lightning pace. So 6 months ago, everyone was really nervous in January as the Attorney General had just made some claims and made some changes. Cole memo started to go away. It really felt a little uncertain. But I think what the industry realizes is that there's a little bit of a bluff game going on. It slowed down some larger companies, which I feel like was very strategic on the government's part. I personally think that they're just trying to figure out how to make money from it appropriately for them before they make it legal. But fast forward to 6 months now, we have major mainstream publications talking about it, from Forbes. Ebony Magazine just featured seven of the, high-powered women of color in the cannabis industry, many of which are my Canafam, all of which are my Canafam. The industry is growing exponentially. I even PowerCon, to be honest, was the first time that I'd ever been in a room with more than 100 people, all people of color, talking about cannabis, and no one snickering. I was just recently at Black Enterprise. We were the first cannabis business to be an exhibit at their BizCon exhibit, and if, the feedback was just overwhelming. So the time is now. I feel like now with Canada, as we go into the back half of this year, everything's kind of picking up even faster in terms of brands coming online. CBD is coming out of nowhere. The product proliferation in that space is just huge. And right now, that seems like a big opportunity for people to be able to get in, again, either on the hemp side or the marijuana side. It's just moving at a lightning pace. I predicted this about 18 months ago, and so things are moving along what I expected. The big companies are paying attention, and that means that they're calling in consultants like myself to talk about things for $500 an hour, and to help them put together their strategy. And this is for 2020, so I feel like you have this window of another 18 months that folks can get in. The largest public company for cannabis continues to get great strains, or get great strides. It's just been an amazing time if you are a person like myself who likes to, build and see your vision come to life. I'm excited. I'm excited to be working with you guys as well on the masterclass. So I'd have to give a shout out for sure there, that we've been doing this masterclass. It's the first time again to see something of this caliber related to cannabis specifically for people of color. There hasn't been anything like it. I'm just excited to be part of that, and I'm going to ask someone from my team to put in the notes what our URL is. But I believe we created a Bitly for that, and we're Green Rush 101. If anybody's interested, but the feedback just from that course tells me that we have plenty of education left to come. There's so many people who are, like you said, the brightest and the best. I can't wait to meet them at the All Black National Convention. I'm hoping to have myself and Minorities for Medical Marijuana front and center, so that people know that the industry is growing. We do not want to be left behind. And in order for us to take advantage of it, we need to claim our seat at the table.
Yo, Dashita's a boss, in case you didn't know. Tell them where you went to school. Didn't you say you went to Princeton?
I did. I'm class of 2000. Shout out to the Tigers. Shout out to former First Lady, of course, Michelle Obama. I have to always, because I'm like 2 degrees of separation from her. I feel so excited just to even be able to say that. But happy to have called Princeton my home, and got my degree in molecular biology from there. So technically, I'm a trained scientist, but by trade, in terms of just what I've been doing the last 15 years, it has been brand management, consumer marketing, digital strategy, really building brands from the ground up, from their digital network infrastructure. It has been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot from companies like Target, Victoria's Secret. I jokingly say I went from Target to THC because that feels a lot like my trajectory. I actually became a patient undercover while I was an executive at Target when my mother was dealing with cancer at the time. And then after she passed, it became clear to me that I was giving away my best asset, my brain, for way too cheap. And I needed to leave. leave the plantation, if you will. And I did, and I went right into the cannabis industry and been rocking and rolling ever since.
What was your mother's name?
Darlene Denise Dawson.
Wow. And what year did she make her transition to the next life?
April 1st, 2016, actually. So not very far ago. It seems like a cruel April Fool's joke, but I pretty much showed up 3 weeks at work, thought I was going to stay, and I resigned that day. And I definitely thank her for just the resilience and that, again, the belief in myself that she's always instilled. She left us a village, though, thank God. I have three sisters, and we all work under MJM strategy along with an extended family. My mom's sister, my aunt Latifah, everybody calls her Aunt Latifah, my uncle, but we also, my business partner Patrice, the Canna family has been extended, and it feels great. I mean, I'm not purposely hiring white folks, but to be perfectly honest, the resumes that's coming across my desk are people of color. I'm gladly taking the best and the brightest that we have to own. We have to offer. I mean, we're ex JP Morgan, ex Targets, ex Viacom. We are truly, I think, the best out of the corporate sphere trying to transform cannabis.
Mm.
I think that, yeah, I've always been an entrepreneur. So I was fortunate enough to be able to be the CEO of Tribe Called Curl, which is a natural hair community that my older sister started. And, very much we flourished, but I was still a corporate executive. I think when she passed away, even though I spent 3 weeks mourning, I came in and I started to realize that I'm up next, right? Like my grandmother and my mother, the women who raised me, they're gone. And so I'm up to bat next. If this is what my return on investment is, this little six-figure check that they're giving me for this amount of work, I'm not going to get too far for my son and the next. So the back of the envelope numbers didn't make sense for me. If I had looked at the amount of money, incremental dollars, over 500 million in incremental dollars on my strategy at a target, even if I had 1% of that, I would be a millionaire. And so that was the part that I was like, it dawned on me that my mom left this earth way too soon. She was 61 almost, and she had a list of things, quite a vision of things that she was able to accomplish, but so much she wasn't due to resources primarily. And just putting my business mind to it, it didn't make sense. It was time to leave corporate America. The return on the investment was not there. I was got the title, of course, and I was really happy for it. And I commend anyone who is on the plantation through that struggle, working day to day. I support you. However, it was just a breaking point. I knew that I was not going to be able to do for my community, give back to my village the way that they had raised me with the way it's set up in corporate America.
Wow.
Because the return on the investment was not there. I was got the title, of course, and I was really happy for it. And I commend anyone who is on the plantation through that struggle, working day to day. I support you. However, it was just a breaking point. I knew that I was not going to be able to do for my community, give back to my village the way that they had raised me with the way it's set up in corporate America.
Wow.
It's not set up for us to really win. I'm sorry. I believe that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it almost sounds like that experience put you in touch with your own mortality a little bit and kind of made you realize that tomorrow's not promised, to any of us. That's what I'm picking up from.
No, absolutely. I think that's a great way to put it. Nobody wants to think about it that way, but it is true. Your mom passes, she's young. I thought to myself, if I only have, I'm 24 years younger than her. If I only have 24 more years, then is this what I'm doing? No, I'm going hard. I'm not leaving anything for the swim back. And I think that that's a mentality that more Black people in our community really need to take on, especially those of us who have been able to transition. Right, I'm from the hood, and then I went to Ivy League school. The fact that I'm still, the same chick from Brooklyn, people who see me, my besties from that area know me, it says a lot. And it's about how do we take what we learned going into these environments, the Princeton, the Rutgers, and take it back to the community. And this is actually my opportunity to do that. I'm doing that with cannabis. I think it's a great opportunity for us to flip the story. It's something that's oppressed us, and we can actually use it to uplift us.
And I was asking about that because, you're an extraordinary woman and extraordinary apples fall from amazing trees. And so I think that it seems like the great gift she gave you was that extra propulsion to really move forward and to pursue your bliss, pursue your dream, pursue the place you're supposed to be. And, because so many of us are sitting around waiting for
Yes.
And it's like you're not waiting. You're waiting for death if you're not careful, right? So I think it's great that you made that move, and I think there are people watching that need to hear that.
Yes.
That look, stop waiting around. Wait, what are you waiting for, and why are you letting these people eat up your life? That's what they're gonna do. They'll eat you up, and there'll be nothing left, and then you'll look back and say, "My God, I gave everything to this company, and I never gave anything to me." So I applaud you for that. I respect you, and I apologize for asking too many personal questions, but I really
No,
want.
I think it's good to share it. I will say, just as a point of real fact, I left very sad. Left Target for Victoria's Secret. They basically poached me. It was my biggest pay jump. It was a business decision, and I felt so bad about it. We have a tendency to do that. But just 6 months later, Target changed CEOs and basically laid off about 6,000 employees, many of which were my friends. So the reality is that the business is always going to make the business decision. And so people have to think of their own brands as personal business brands, even when you're in corporate America, and make the best business decisions for yourself. So months later, Target changed CEOs and basically laid off about 6,000 employees, many of which were my friends. So the reality